Hello everyone, Peter Smith here. I was actually meant to be down in Ulverston today, but I made a mistake in my diary, and it's tomorrow. And I rang up George last night and said, I'll be down tomorrow, and what do you want me to bring? And he says, it's not tomorrow, it's Friday. So I felt a bit of a goose. Got the days wrong, get that wrong sometimes. So I've had a day cooling my heels and doing a bit of work, and got my flight booked to America for October, and did a bit of work and sent off some reports and different jazz like that. And I've been looking through some of the comments from different people. Been called an evangelical Taliban. It's a new one to me. I've never been to Afghanistan, but there you go. It's funny the names you get called. And I've been watching a little bit of Lauren Southern and Stefan Molyneux and different other ones, and it's really interesting. See, Lauren wore this t-shirt, "It's okay to be white," and the interviewers out in Oz said it was provocative and daring and what a lot of other nonsense. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with being white? At high school they used to call me Snow White because I was the whitest chap there. Used to sunburn, I used to go all red, peeled, you know. No one sort of worried too much about it then, but see, with this identity politics, we're meant to be the oppressor group. Now, as far as being a white oppressor group, I've not been very good at it because I've not been able to oppress anyone too much in my whole lifetime. It's really funny. I made friends with an Indonesian chap at the UN. I'm not sure which one it was. Was it Masni or the one before? I'm not sure. One of them said to me, "Oh," he said, "you white people, you went all over the world as rulers." And I was too slow. So I thought, no, my ancestors went right round the world to Australia as convicts. We weren't rulers of anything. And that's the sort of idea people have, that the British are all rulers. Not that many have been rulers, only been a small number. About 1,000 ruled India under the Raj. I don't know if it was called the Raj then, but when the British ran it, and 400 ran Malaysia, which they reckon was overstaffed. It didn't take many people to run those places then. It takes a lot more people now, but there you go. It's all different. It's all different now. There's no more British Empire. She's all gone. And the white people. Well, you see, I did an engineering degree. And one of the things we were taught doing mechanical engineering at the University of Tasmania was the Industrial Revolution. And guess where that happened? In the United Kingdom. James Watt with his improved steam engine. Him and Matthew Bolton got together down in Manchester, and that started the Industrial Revolution with a bit of a decent steam engine. And then apparently they hooked it up to some big bellows and got the blast furnace going, and then you had steel. I've been down to see the first steel bridge down in England, and some of the early cotton spinning mills and factories. First factories were invented, where mass production was invented. See, the Americans think they invented everything. They didn't. So I think Henry Ford first one invented mass stuff. He came later on. That was much later. But virtually everything was invented in Britain, a little bit in Germany and France, a bit in Italy, but mainly Protestant Britain was where most of it got invented. The United States then has invented a lot of stuff in the last 100 years. Pretty much all white people. You see, multiculturalism, they say, Well, all cultures are equal. Well, I don't know that they are. See, the Indian people had a thing called sutti. When the man died, the widow was meant to throw herself on the funeral pyre. So the British rulers said, well, we don't like this. And the Indian people said, well, it's our tradition. And the English magistrate says, well, yeah, we've got a tradition too. If you start throwing those widows on that funeral pyre, we have a tradition of hanging you. So we'll set up the gallows just over here near where the funeral pyre is. And if you start throwing the widows on the fire, we'll be stringing you up from the gallows. So that tended to cut back on the widow burning a bit. Now, I was at the UN quite a few years ago, probably about 10 years ago, and I met this Brazilian evangelical sort of missionary lady who rescued twins from the indigenous people in Brazil, because if you had twins, they buried them alive to kill them. And if someone said a certain person was possessed or something, they would bury the child alive and just let the child slowly suffocate. Now, I don't think that's a good thing. But there was this lady in the government that was protecting Indigenous rights, and they were going to prosecute her for kidnapping these babies that were being buried alive, because she'd dig them up and save them and take them and get them adopted in an orphanage she had. So I don't think all cultures are the same. Now, another thing about some cultural practices, I was reading a missionary book about a chap went to one of the islands in the Pacific early on. And when Cook was there, apart from when they killed him in Hawaii, but before that he wrote off about all these wonderful, noble savages and all the rest of it. And they were practising cannibalism. They didn't eat anyone in front of strangers, so they didn't know this was the practice. Now there's also there's a little decolonisation committee still going on at the UN. There's virtually nothing left to read decolonise, but it's still going, this decolonisation committee. And I've met a few people from there. One was from West Papua. They're trying to get independence from someone, a chap from Hawaii. And these people really didn't know what was happening at the UN or how it worked. And they got talking to me. Thought I was important. They had no idea I got no importance there at all, just an NGO. And I got talking to this Hawaiian chap. Now, he's trying to get this independence thing going in Hawaii, because he's part Hawaiian, sort of indigenous, native sort of thing. And I said to him, yeah, when you lot killed Captain Cook, did you eat anything of him? And he's a bit embarrassed. He said, well, probably a few small bits, he said. Oh, there you go. It was a couple hundred years ago. They don't practice it too much there now. They did up in Papua New Guinea too. They used to eat their enemies' brains, and some of them had a brain cancer and it passed it on. I've been up into New Guinea. It's a bit wild up there. It's the only place I've been, Port Moresby, where I said, don't walk down that road day and night. It's not safe. No, I believed it. It's not safe up there. It might be better now. I don't know. This was maybe 30 years ago. So I don't believe all cultures are the same. See, Western culture's based on Christianity. And okay, it's a lot of non-believers in Britain now and in Europe, but still based pretty much on Judeo-Christian principles. See, everyone talks about human rights. And you say, where do human rights come from? You see, this is a big question. Are real human rights inherent, or are they gifted to you by your government or the UN or somewhere else? You see, I believe human beings are made in the image and likeness of God, and that's what gives human beings their inherent dignity. And that's why we shouldn't murder other people. That's why we shouldn't be into abortion. That's killing human beings. I know there's a lot of argument about, oh, a fetus isn't a person. It's no rubbish. Of course a human fetus is a human. I mean, a sheep fetus is a sheep. A cow fetus is a cow. Human fetus is a human. So I remember once going up to Glasgow Airport, and this lady used to drive me up in the taxi. And she said to me one time, what do you do at the UN? It's a difficult sort of job what I do at the UN, NGOing. I said, I'm with a Right to Life NGO. Oh, she said, a fetus isn't a person. I said, why not? No answer. See, the politically correct, all this lot, they know the first response, but after that they're lost. Why isn't a fetus a person? Well, it isn't this, it isn't that, can't do this, can't do that. It's still human. And you're killing a human made in the image and likeness of God. And it's an insult to God. Babies are a gift from God. And you're ripping up a best present God could give you as a child. So that's why I'm against abortion. Someone asked me to do something on abortion. When I can work out how to do this PowerPoint and YouTube a bit more flash, I'll do a little presentation on it. I had a very interesting trip to Sri Lanka some years ago and met the First Lady. Interesting when you can meet a First Lady. First Ladies are pretty influential people. See, I had a little manual vacuum aspirator, which is a little abortion machine. It's like a big syringe that, I've got one here somewhere, I'm not sure where it is. Got on the front page of the newspaper, one of the daily newspapers in Colombo, saying this is what the UN was giving you, tsunami relief, a little manual vacuum aspirator to abort your babies if you wanted to. For tsunami relief, and all the UN people were saying that wasn't true. It was true. I got to meet the First Lady. And I was explaining all this to her, and she says, well, we must close down these illegal Marie Stopes abortion clinics. I thought, yeah. She said, I'll do it, she says. And I thought, whoa, that'll be a bit brave. The next time I came back, it was amazing. She had done it. She got the police organised. And they would send a police lady in plain clothes around to these illegal Marie Stopes abortion clinics set up by the British Marie Stopes here, Marie Stopes International, and pretend to want to have an abortion and book in for the abortion, and would come back in uniform with all her male colleagues in uniform, and they would arrest everybody and confiscate all the gear and everything. And this police inspector, Sister Kathleen, got me to meet him there, and he couldn't speak English, so he had to translate, and it's hard when you're translating stuff. And he said, these doctors, see, they were medical doctors, retired government medical doctors doing the abortions. It wasn't untrained backstreet people, and there's medical doctors doing the abortions, supplementing their little government pensions. They were doing pretty good financially, but they all got closed down, everything confiscated. But he said, these medical doctors, they got friends in Parliament and they get off. But, you can only do what you can do. And not all societies are equal. I think the Western world has got better societies than a lot of other countries. I've been to a lot of other countries. And so you go to these countries and you see what works. Here we turn the switch on and the power comes on. Do you know in Lagos, it's the second biggest city in Africa, it's in Nigeria, no mains electricity. It's amazing. It's all got little generators. It's just unbelievable. No running water, they've got wells. I mean, here we turn on the tap, turn on the light switch, lights, water, hot water, electricity, everything works, gas. I mean, I can't remember the last time we had the power go out for more than a couple of seconds. What do you think about that? It takes a lot of work to have a power grid work like that, gas supply work like that, water supply work like that. We've had a drought here in Scotland in the last 6 or 8 weeks. No water restrictions, nothing. Sewerage works. Flush the toilet, it's all gone, don't even think about it. Where I grew up, we didn't have a flush toilet. I had the bucket empty down in the garden, and that was the fertiliser for the next year. Oh, people go, oh, that was awful. Well, most of the world lived like that. Use the toilet bucket for the fertiliser for next year. Give it a year to decompose down. That's fine. No, all societies aren't the same. See, I don't know if they've got one, but Somalia Airlines, would you rather fly with them or with Qantas? Now, Qantas is the Australian international carrier. You know how many air crashes they've had since 1936? 0. Safest airline in the world. And I get on a British Airlines flight or a United flight or something like that. You don't have to worry too much. You know it's going to be looked after and maintained pretty good. But some airlines, you just never know how well they're looking after them. You know? And all societies are not equal. So if they were all equal, why would all these immigrants would be wanting to come and live here and in America, Europe? They want to come here because it's better. I mean, I don't have any ambition to go to Syria. Now, I went to Sri Lanka when the Civil War was on. That wasn't quite so bad. I mean, I was with the Caritas people, the Catholic Aid Agency, and they had that big Land Cruiser with a Caritas flag up on the front fender, and they said they could go anywhere and never get touched. They do brilliant work all around the world, Caritas. I'm an evangelical, but I've got to admit the Catholics do amazing relief work around the world. They built more houses after the tsunami in Sri Lanka than anyone else. I mean, they're brilliant. They even rebuilt Buddhist temples. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Amazing people, you know. Evangelicals do a lot of good work too. I had a good friend at the NGO section at the UN, Andre, and he said it's you lot that do all the work around the world, run the schools and the hospitals and everything else. It's true. Liberals just agitate for all these fake human rights, and how much do they go out and do? How many hospitals do they run out in Africa and all over the place, and schools and the rest of it? Not too many. Churches have been running schools for 2,000 years. That's how the universities got set up in Europe. They were all church-run things. You know, the people today, all these atheists, they like to slag off the Christians. You see, all these rights they got, it's because of the Christians that they got them. All this stuff came through Christian countries. Just because Britain's not that Christian now, it was very Christian in the 19th century. And before that, very Christian. And even if a lot of people don't believe anymore, a lot of those traditions still keep going on. See, the inherent dignity of the human person, that's a Christian idea. See, in India, it's not like that. The Brahmins are the special ones there. The untouchables, they really don't count. But in a Christian country, everyone counts. That's where everyone gets a vote when they're an adult. Because everyone has got inherent dignity, made in the image and likeness of God. So I just wanted to share a little bit like that. I'm sitting here all by myself. My wife's headed off down to Bradford to see our daughter down there for the weekend. And another daughter borrowed my car today because her car's getting fixed up, and I was just sitting there, couldn't go anywhere, had to do a bit of work. So I got my car all loaded up with the chainsaw. Now, I'm 68 years old, but I can still use a chainsaw. And I might be a bit more dangerous than a lot of people think. But us Christians generally turn the other cheek. Twice. After that, you never know what might happen. But I'm here to persuade people, not for violence. I believe in the power of the written and spoken word. Now, talking about a written word, I've got 2 books nearly done. Boy, they're hard work. If you've ever written a book, it is tough. I've listened to Stephen Molyneux about this, and he says you keep going until you just can't read it again, and I'm just about at that point with these 2 books. But I'll tell you about that once we get them. I'm going to self-publish those. So it's been amazing. I've had hardly any bad comments. I've had lots of good comments. Nice comments from the Kiwis. And I've just got to say, the Kiwis, I love you really. I don't think you're all politically correct. Great country. Pretty about the feminist takeover. That's all. And the politically correct brigade, they're in charge of it. They're a tiny minority. You could outvote them, you know. I mean, we had Brexit, and look at Trump, we got in. You never know what might change. You should never think nothing can change. God doesn't want us to live that way. Lots of things are possible. Lots of things are possible. So it's great to chat with you. This is a bit rambly, but I just wanted to do something before I went away. Not sure whether I'll be able to do something when I'm down there, but if not, I'll probably do something when I get back. And I'm going to try and get somebody who can teach me how to do PowerPoint presentations, and then your face goes up in the little corner of the screen and different other stuff, and jazz, and having a little pointer and things electronically. I'm going to be looking around for someone to do that, so I can do a few PowerPoint presentations. Paul Vanderklay, he does a bit like that. He's really good. I just wish he lived a bit closer. I'd go and see him and get him to show me how he does all that smart, clever stuff. If someone explained it to me slowly, I'd probably pick it up. I'm not that literate. I only got a computer when I was in 1996. When I was at uni, they were very basic stuff, nothing like what I've got now. So a lot of years I never did any computer stuff. So I'm at a bit of a disadvantage, but I'm trying to catch up. And thank you all for watching and subscribing and putting a like and a comment. I try and reply to most ones. I don't reply to the negative stuff. I don't think there's any point in replying to negative comments, because those sort of people, very difficult for them to change. If they got converted, they might change. See, I changed a lot when I got converted. So I used to be totally pro-abortion once, and I'm totally pro-life now. And people can change. They can change even if they don't get converted. I mean, I gave up the drink before I got converted. My body was telling me the booze was killing me when I was 29. So I gave up the drink before I got converted, about a year before. But I think that was the Lord working on me, getting me ready. So that's it. Thanks again, and share one of my stories if you'd like to somebody, and do a like and subscribe's wonderful. Thank you very much. See you again soon. God bless.